Hi, boys and girls. I'm back again. Let's see what's going to happen. All right. So remember, they were in the collaborative classroom. It was Jeffrey, Jessica, and Anna. And we heard from, we heard from not Luke's point of view. We heard from Jessica's point of view as well as Jeffrey's point of view. And remember, Jessica and Jeffrey had just talked with each other outside at recess, where they were kind of giving each other's secrets away. Jessica told Jeffrey some more about herself, but we haven't heard too much about Jeffrey, so hopefully maybe we'll find out a little bit more. This section, though, this chapter is from Anna's point of view. So I was pretty scared when Mr. Trupp first told us about going to the collaborative classroom. I didn't know those kids, only that they were gross and messy, but I didn't complain. I was happy when I found out Jessica was in my group. She and I have been eating lunch together. She's always reading and she's smart, but she doesn't act like a know-it-all. She tells me about her books if I ask, without giving away too much of the story. I wasn't expecting or looking for a special friend, but Jessica showed up this year all the way from California, and I liked her a lot. I'd like to ask her over to my house, but no one has ever been over before. I'm not sure what Mom would think. I'll have to think about it some more. Jeffrey was in our group too. All I knew about him was that he always seemed mad at everyone. That wasn't how it turned out, though. Jeffrey was nice with the kids. Really nice. And I didn't feel scared because Miss Kelsey and Jessica were with me. Miss Kelsey knew I was nervous, and she helped me get used to everything a little at a time. I noticed she didn't wear a wedding ring. Mr. Trupp had a lot of options. Little Emily was so cute. I didn't want to touch her hands because she always had them in her mouth and had slobbery spit all over them. But Miss Kelsey gave us this handkerchief to wipe her up with every once in a while, and then it was okay to touch her. I held her hand on the way to do jobs and on the way back. She smiled at me, and then I felt like I was going to cry. I hadn't expected that. One day, after everybody had been to visit the collaborative classroom at least once, Mr. Trupp decided we needed to discuss our group experience. Mr. Trupp, I said, before we got into a serious discussion, did you know that Miss Kelsey doesn't wear a wedding ring? Is that so? Yes, and neither does Miss Newberry from across the hall. I didn't know that, but thanks for those observations, Anna. Then Peter started in. Ooh, Mr. Trupp and Newberry sit in a tree. Kissing. Okay, Peter, ha ha. Mr. Trupp held up his hands. Enough of the matchmaking, though I appreciate you looking out for me, Anna. Now, how about sharing your experiences? I wanted to tell Mr. Trupp that my mom didn't have a wedding ring, but he'd moved on. Jessica was the first to speak up. Mr. Trupp, why is James in that room? He seems really smart. Yeah, Peter said. He knew how many forks and stuff were on the table without even counting. You should do some math with him, Luke. Not exactly a retard then, huh, Peter? Mr. Trupp said. No. Peter's voice lowered, and so did his head. He's autistic, Jeffrey said. No one said anything, probably because we were so shocked that Jeffrey had spoken at all. And because we didn't know what he meant. James has some things that he's really into, and he knows everything about them, Jeffrey went on. A lot of autistic people have a special talent. James is great with numbers, but he has his problems too. Hey, we should have had him tell us how many blades of grass in the soccer field, Peter said. Yeah, and then I would have never got hit in the tushy, Lexi told him. Peter grinned, but that was the best part. All right, you two. That's enough, Mr. Trupp said. How do you know all this stuff, Jeffrey? I said. Even before I knew I was asking the question, I felt instantly bad. Jeffrey wasn't looking for extra attention. Jeffrey didn't answer. He was quiet again. There's something with Jeffrey there that we haven't found out yet, and I'm curious as to what else will go on. Our next chapter is from Danielle. Lexi was in my group going to the collaborative kids. Part of me was happy about that, part of me wasn't. Things were a little confusing. Every time we went to the collaborative classroom and every time we came back, Lexi would talk bad about Jessica, even Anna sometimes. Don't you think Anna belongs in this room? She's so stupid, Lexi said one day. Lexi is just not a nice person. She's just not, I'm not loving her right now. Don't you think Anna belongs in this room? She's like so stupid, Lexi said one day. Sorry, I already read that. Even if I wasn't supposed to be friends with Anna, I knew she wasn't stupid. I knew because she was my plant partner, and she helped me a lot during that unit. Plus, Anna was the only girl not involved in Lexi's schemes, which made her brave too. Like, Jessica should just stay down there. She doesn't have any normal friends, Lexi said. The weirdest thing of all was that Lexi was really nice to the boys and girls in the collaborative classroom. That's nice. Joey loved her. Okay, Joey loved everyone, but he always smiled and hugged Lexi. And she was really patient with Emily, too. Seeing Lexi like that helped me feel more comfortable in the room. And I had a good time with the kids, especially James. Jeffrey told us that James had certain things he was really into, and one of them was farms. His brain was crammed with information about tractors and machines and cows and milking. So I brought in a bunch of pictures from home, and James went nuts. He spouted out facts nonstop as he looked at each picture. Udders! These are the cow's udders. Clean her off and use teat dip. Next picture. Hay. Find it in bales or rolls. It works. It's hard work to hay. It's hard work to hay. Throw the bale off the wagon and put it on the elevator. Stack the bales into the hayloft. Next picture. John Deere tractor, classic green and yellow, lots of horsepower. James talked more to himself than anyone else, but that was okay. His mind was racing. When our time was up, I tried to take the pictures and he started screaming, really screaming. Not words, just noises, really loud noises. It scared me. I let go of the pictures and Mrs. Warner came right over. I got out of the way. He can keep them, I said. That's very nice of you, sweetie, Miss Warner said. James, can you say thank you to your friend? Arrgh! James yelled and struggled to free his body from Miss Warner. James has a hard time knowing when time is up and switching to another activity, she said. I felt bad for James. Watching him have this meltdown, it's okay, I said. You can keep the pictures, James. Bye. More yelling and crying and screaming. I hoped he would calm down soon, but I had to leave. I wanted to go. I didn't like seeing that. The whole situation upset me, and I think that was what gave me the courage to say something. We had just gone out into the hall when Lexi started right in. Like, what a weirdo. We better fix him up with Jessica. She's the weirdest one in our class. Just stop it, I exploded. Why do you always have to be so mean? You're nice in the room with them. Why do you have to be mean now? Biting back tears, I turned and ran down the hallway. Good for her for standing up. I like cows, Lexi yelled after me. Maybe he should date a cow. He likes cows, Lexi yelled after me. Maybe he should date a cow like you then. Still so mean. Hot tears streamed down my cheeks. I ran upstairs and into the bathroom. Jessica was there. Are you okay? She asked as I came through the door crying. Here was my true friend. I knew it now. I'm sorry I've been mean to you, Jessica. I won't do it again. She walked over to me and we hugged. I felt better. Dear God, it's Danielle. I know now that Jessica's my real friend. I pray that you can help Alexia not be so mean. And I pray for James. He was awful upset today. Please help him feel better and learn to handle when time is up. Thanks. Amen. The next one is from Alexia. Like, Peter knew what he was doing out there on the soccer field, hitting me with that frisbee. So, I was constantly reminding him that he had killed our plant. I told you so, I kept telling him. Yesterday, he told me to stop annoying him. Peter's always picking on me. I bet it's because he likes me. Like, all the boys think I'm pretty. They like my fancy clothes and sparkly lip gloss. They sure don't look at Danielle. Like, she got so upset with me. She's never yelled at me before. Must be she's getting braver as she's getting fatter. I'll have to fix things with her again. I do like going to the collaborative classroom. I don't have to worry about things down there. The kids in that room love you no matter what. It's nice. Teach had a good idea with that one. Joey likes my feather boas. I always wear them to his class so he can see them. I think I'm going to ask if I can put some lip gloss on Emily. I think maybe she'll like it. Every girl should try some lip gloss. Our next section is December, so we're moving further into the year. We're starting off with Peter's point of view. Last month, Mr. T told us we had to read some stupid book and go spend some time with the retards. That's what I thought at first anyways. Peter. that was what I had always thought. The collaborative classroom was where the retards went to school. I guess it was James who made me change my mind. I mean, the Summer of the Swans was okay, sort of, but the collaborative classroom wasn't what I thought at all. The kids were actually pretty cool, especially James. Seems like Mr. Peters changed his mind here. If something spilled on the floor or if there was a bunch of objects spread out on the table, he could tell you how many there were just by looking at them. I mean it. He could tell you immediately. No counting required. No matter how many there was, 312 forks or 813 Legos, he always got it right. And James was kind of cool to hang out with. He gave me low fives, not high fives, because eye contact was tough for him, and we played games. I liked going to see him, so I liked Mr. T's next idea. He never ran out of ideas. Okay, guys, here's the deal, he told us in December. We're going to have a holiday party like every other class, but it's going to be different. Of course, I blurted out. That's no surprise. I like that sometimes. I do that sometimes, open my mouth before thinking. A lot of times, actually. Everybody, even Mr. T, cracked a smile because I was right. You'll form small groups and work to create a center focused on a certain holiday. It might be Christmas, Ramadan, Kwanzaa, or Hanukkah. Mr. T kept going with the directions, but I didn't catch most of it. I was thinking. Then I did that blurt out thing again. Mr. T, can we invite James and his friends to our party? Everyone was quiet and looked at me. Then Jessica said, "That's a great idea." And the rest of the class agreed. Mr. T had a smile stretched across his face. He nodded, and I thought I saw him wipe at his eyes. I don't know why he did that, though. So it seems like Mr. T's kind of getting to them. And I think if you think about it, Mr. T has a reason for connecting them up with the collaborative classroom. If I'm just thinking offhand, it's the idea of understanding and respecting each other. And although we are different from each other, we still have to spread kindness to each other and respect each other's differences. And I think Mr. T is trying to get that. And I hope that's something that you guys are working on too, is remembering that, hey, we're all different from each other, but we should treat each other with kindness and respect. And I'm kind of getting that from Mr. T. So I hope you guys are too. All right. Tune in next time for the next few chapters. Bye, guys.